After choosing the best, you need to move to the planning to realize the solution. Now you are starting with the planning before the making. So the planning will be based on the best idea, the chosen idea. Planning includes the following: specifications, preparation of working drawings, and also the preparation of a production schedule. So what is a specifications? What are specifications? So basically specifications, they outline the specific details of the design which must be adhered to when making or producing the prototype. So you need to give details of the design. What is it that the design will adhere to when making or producing the prototype? And again, specification should also identify the design limits and constraints as derived from the analysis of the problem or refinement of the preferred solution. So basically with the specifications, you need to specify, like for instance, what is the function of that solution? Is the solution going to be reliable? Is that design going to be reliable? As I made an example of the community struggling to cross across the river. So when you design that a bridge, is it going to be reliable? Is it going to be safe for the community to cross? Then you also specify the shape. What will be the shape, the size, a requirement of product or prototype? Then is it going to be then the environmental impact requirements? Is it going to be environmentally friendly? What will be the impact in or on the environment? Then you also talk about the cost requirements. So these are some of the things that you can include in your specifications, explaining your design, preparing working drawings. After you have come up with the specifications, then now you need to draw, or you need to have a working drawings based on the chosen design. So the working drawing should refer to and correspond with the information in the specification. You said that the function of this prototype or this product will do this and that. Then you need, as you come up with the working drawing, it needs to accommodate, or it needs to correspond with the information in the specification. Like for example, we talk of the types, the amount of materials, the methods of shaping, joining, and finishing. They need to correspond. Then again, a working drawing actually is the final drawing for a step number 2, which is the design and the development of an alternative solution. So it's the final drawing. Remember, we started with the freehand sketches, which is the rough sketches. There were 3. Then you decided on that a particular idea which you think is the best to in solving the problem. Then you need to have the final drawing of that sketch that you had under the development of alternative solutions. Then working drawing again should have more details, such as dimensions and also materials. Remember, with the freehand sketches, you have just included you have labeled the materials that you will use in solving the problem. But here, you need also to include the dimensions. We need to see the dimensions. We need to see the materials. Then the last one, still under the working drawings, you need to also consider the graphical aspects, of which the aspects we're looking at the layout, we're looking at lettering, we're looking at the presentation. It's either in a 2D or a 3D, or it can be both the 2D and also the 3D. So that's how you present your working drawings. You need to, it's either 2D or 3D, or you can use both the 3D and the 2D. I'll also show you some drawings for a working drawing. Then the next one, as I said, that planning, it includes specifications, writing specifications, working drawings, and also the production schedule. So with the production schedule is wherein you outline your activities, you plan your activities. What is it that you are going to do? It can be a planning of a week, a month, or 2 weeks, like to say today I'll be doing this, then these are the materials that I'll be using. Then you just, it's just a form of a schedule based on the activities that you'll be doing in order to come up with what, with the prototype, or to come up with the final product. So with the 3D, as I said, a working drawing, it can either be presented in a 2D or a 3D, or it can be both a 2D and 3D. So this is one of the example of a working drawing. As you can see, it has some numbers 1, 2, 3 up to 6. So these are simply the materials or the things that will be used in order to come up with what, with the final product. So you also have to do the labeling. You also have to give the dimensions as it's shown in this picture. So with dimensions, they are always measured in millimeters, as you can see in the diagram. They are in millimeters. So you need to make sure that as you are doing your measurements, you measure in millimeters. This it's one of the example of a working drawing. And then again, I have also included another example of a working drawing. As you can see it's presented in both the 2D and also the 3D together with the dimensions. Don't forget to include the dimensions and also the labeling as it is done on the above diagram. So when you are done with the presentation of a working drawing, you're now moving to the making stage, making of the product or the prototype, of which still is for the optimum solution, the one that you chose as the best idea in solving the problem. So with the making process, you need to start with the planning. You need to organize the work to be done. What is it that you need to do in making that product? So you need to organize, you need to have all the materials, you need to have all the tools, and you also need to take into considerate the safety issues. You need to ensure that the working environment is safe for you to carry on with the making of the product. So again, here on the making, you need to also have a flow chart that explain the steps. What is it that you'll be doing from a step number one up until the last step wherein you have the final product? What is it that you'll be doing? You need to also include all the things like the cutting, finishing, joining, assembling, all the steps that you'll be doing in coming up with the final product. So these are some of the things that you need to do for planning, for making. Like I said, you need to organize the work to be done. You need to select a range of materials, tools, and also techniques. You need to check if the materials are appropriate, the tools and also the techniques, if they suit the requirements of the as specified in the design. You need to ensure that the tools, they will enable you to make the product as you have specified. Again, with the matching tools, the equipments, and also the techniques with the materials, like having the different materials that require the use of a particular types of tools, equipments, and techniques. Like we are having a different materials, and the different materials, they require the use of a particular type. So you need to have tools that are matching with the tools. You need to ensure that the tools, the equipment, and also the techniques, they match with with the materials that will be used. And again, manipulating and using tools and materials as safety, like I said, you need to ensure that there is a safety wherever you are working. And you need not to forget to include the steps. You demonstrate what is it that you'll be doing, step 1, 2, 3. If maybe for you to complete the design, you have to follow steps maybe up until 10 or 12. Then in each and every step, you need to explain what is it that you'll be doing. Then again, assembling and also joining materials, you need to work on that one. You also need to do the finishing. So you decide if you'll be using a simple finishing techniques in order to improve the surfaces. So it's up to you on what techniques that you'll be using in order to do it, in order to finalize or finish the product. Then working to a high degree of, you need to also ensure that there is a match. There is a match. Whatever that you said above, there is a match with your making. After you are done with the making, then you move to the evaluation. You evaluate the design. So as you evaluate the design, you need to consider the following aspects. Basically, the design, the evaluation is to check if the design is appropriate. Is it working accordingly? Is it according to the specifications? Is it working properly? So you need to evaluate. You need to check that if maybe the design doesn't meet the requirements, then it means that you need to work on improving that design in order to meet the requirements as you have indicated above. You check if it's appropriate. Is it appropriate? Is it working well? The cost, is it ecological friendly? You check after designing to see if really this design it's meeting the requirement, and it will benefit the identified people. It will be attractive to the market, because at the end we need to have something that will attract the customers, will attract the consumers. So you need to check all that. If this thing really, or this product really, it's according to the specifications that were mentioned above. Really, it's working well. Really, it's economical friendly. Really, the people will benefit, or the society will benefit from this product. So basically, the evaluation of the design, it's all about that. You design, or you develop a criteria that you will use in order to find out if the product is appropriate, if the product is good for the society. Because as we are designing, remember I said with technology, we are solving technological problems. As we are solving those problems, we are considering the society and environment. So you need to check that, you need to evaluate that. Then if all is well, then we are moving to. But if maybe there's something that you need to improve on, you improve, then you check again, or you evaluate again and see if that particular challenge was resolved. Then if everything is okay, we move to the last step, of which is the presentation or a communication of the information. Now you are done. You just have to plan on how you are going to communicate your product, how you're going to present your product. Like with my example, it was a bridge to a community. Then you present that idea. You just plan on how are you going to present that idea, of which it can also include the graphics. You can also have some drawings in your presentation to show the people on how the product it is, or how is it looking, and also stating the benefit of the product. I have come to the end of presentation of the study units. As I indicated that I'll be tackling 2 units, the first and the second unit for now. So I'm moving to part 2. Part 2, which is the assignments. Like I said earlier, this module has 3 assignments, of which all of them are compulsory. The first one is an MCQ. The second one is the written assignment, which is out of 100. The focus on the first assignment is on technology education, of which it has 2 questions. Question 1 are required to prepare a speech, of which it's about Unit 1, wherein you are going to differentiate or explain the concept, technology, and also the nature of the subject technology. As you are preparing the speech, you need to take into considerate the introduction. You need to introduce your speech, and also the body focuses on the responses to the questions that are given. Then you also need to have the conclusion. The conclusion must be based on what you have presented, or what you have prepared for your speech. Then question 2 basically is on the technological process, as I have outlined about what is technological process, what it comprise of which all the stages or the steps I have explored them. So basically it's on the technological process. So with assignment 3, again, is the written assignment, is out of 100. The focus is on economic literacy and entrepreneur. So it has 3 questions. The first one, you are required to discuss the different concepts in economic literacy and entrepreneurship. Again, with the discussion, you need to consider, or you need to support your discussion with references. So you need to acknowledge. Then question 2, it's about a plan of action. Then question 3 is about the flea market. Basically, it's on the role of the teacher in monitoring the flea market, of which we are having 3 stages. We're having stage 1, which is before the flea market. What is it that the teacher, what is the role of the teacher before the flea market, and also during the flea market, what is the role of the teacher, and also after the flea market, what is the role of the teacher. So that's all about the assignments in this module. Then the last part, which is part 3, it's about the examination. So examination, in order to write, like I indicated, you need to ensure that you finish or you complete all the 3 assignments in this module. So you need to obtain an average of 20% for assignments to gain an admission. The assignments waiting for this module, assignment 1 is 2, then as I mean assignment 1 is 10%, then assignment 2 and 3 is also 10%. Then examination will be a timed examination, of which is an MCQ examination. Then examination accounts on 80% towards the final module mark, and also examination information and details on the format will be made available to you online via my UNISA. And also it's a non-venue based examination. So again, the exam will be will cover both sections. Like I said, we are having 2 different sections. Section A is technology education. Section B is economic literacy and entrepreneurship. So the exam will be based on the 2 sections. So I'll also be sending some feedbacks with regards to the assignments, which will assist in preparation of the examination. So I thank you.